Hi everybody, Steven here. Welcome back to the channel. I want to talk about gatekeeping, something that seems to be being talked about a lot lately. Uh, is it good? Is it bad? Well, I'm going to give you my thoughts on it, throw in my 2 cents into this debate, and let you know what I think. First off, gatekeeping, good. I'm for it. Why am I for it? Because if we as a fandom, whether it's movies, TVs, comic books, books, whatever your particular fandom is, there are a lot of fake fans out there that have infiltrated fandoms. And they don't want anything to do with the actual property. They don't care about the characters. They don't care about the story. They don't care about anything. They want to bring in their social justice ideas, their representation and inclusion, and they want that to be the focus of the story, not the actual story. We don't need a good story. As long as you have some representation, as long as you have inclusion, as long as I can see myself in the characters, that's all that matters. You could have the god worst awful story ever. As long as I can see myself in that character. Ooh. Thumbs up. Um Case in point, Star Wars. The older Star Wars fans, the original Star Wars fans and the prequel Star Wars fans. The prequels are pretty good now, aren't they? They look at everything Disney Star Wars and they dislike it a lot. I don't like Disney Star Wars. Uh, Not good. And there are plenty of YouTube channels out that they'll go over why it's bad, what made it bad, if it could be fixed, all kinds of stuff. I'm not going over that. There are plenty of, like I said, there's plenty of YouTube channels out there for that. If you want to know why, go check some of them out. Uh, as for this video, all I'm saying is old Star Wars doesn't like the Disney stuff. Now, the old Star Wars fans, at least the ones I've seen, me included, don't really deal with the new Star Wars fans, the Disney Star Wars fans. If you want to like that, if you want to like Rey and Poe and Finn and all that stuff, by all means. It's your movie. You like it. Watch it forever. But the Star Wars, Disney Star Wars fans, when they hear about the older fans and how they don't like it, my God, they just attack those fans. They call them racist and misogynist and whatever ist and phobes they can think, names they can think of, and they just lob them at the older fans. That shows me they're not real fans. They have no idea what true fandom is. They just want to have some kind of something to complain about. Same thing with Doctor Who. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. Grew up on the classic stuff. Enjoyed the new Doctor Who when it came out. Up until about halfway through the 12th Doctor's run, Capaldi, things started getting a little social justicey. And then when Jodie Whittaker and Chibnall took over, it just went right off a cliff. It just plummeted to just garbage. Again, plenty of YouTube channels out there breaking down why it's garbage. Go watch them. The old Doctor Who fans, to the ones the Jodie fans, don't care. I don't care if you like Jodie Whittaker and her doctor. If you do, more power to you. That's great. Collect all the collectibles, get the DVDs, cosplay. But I don't want anything to do with it. Now, the Jody fans and the Chibnall fans, when they hear people like me talk, well, they do the Star Wars thing and they start lobbing ist and phobe over at the old fans. Why? Because they're not real fans. That may be an unpopular opinion for some people, but I'm sticking to it. They're not real fans. As a matter of fact, the reason why they need to see themselves in these characters, the reason why they keep saying, "Oh, we need representation. We need representation. I need to see me," is because they lack imagination. Up until about 10 years ago, none of this mattered. I am not a woman, as you can plainly see. Yet, I read and collected Wonder Woman comics. I'm not an orphaned multi-billionaire, but I still read Batman. I've not been irradiated with lethal doses of gamma radiation that turn me big and green. I don't see myself in that, yet I love the Hulk. You don't need to see yourself in a story, in a movie, in a TV show. When it's written well, you can just go along with it because it's supposed to be an escape. It's escapist entertainment. You can come home from a hard day work, throw in Star Wars, and forget everything that happened and just let yourself fall into it. You don't want that, then you can read a book or a comic book. Escape when it's done right. When you have good writers doing the writing, you can imagine anything. Unless you're one of these representation freaks who just has to see them in a comic book or a book. I have no imagination. I can't see past my hand. That's why I need everything spoon-fed to me. Show me put some protected glass here, and then I'm going to enjoy this book. But you're really not, because then you'll find something else to complain about. There are a couple articles I found that go over a lot of stuff like this. They're bad. I will link the articles in the comments. But one of them is from I know it's online. I don't know if it's print or not, but it's the North Texas Daily. And they had an article written called "Stop Getting Mad Over the Casting of Fictional Characters." Well, here is just a bit of what they wrote. People that get upset by these things need to realize that anyone can play any role, especially when their race or ethnicity plays no significance in the role. This behavior tends to be the worst in the comic world because lots of people tend to be extremely critical of how their favorite comics are portrayed on the big screen. A lot of these comics were made in a time where representation was limited, and the pages were mostly taken up by white people. So, they say there is no representation back then. The comics back then were bad. It was all whites. Take a look over here. You're going to see a list of characters that came out between the 60s and 70s that had huge representation. These same people who get upset because, there's no representation. When you take a classically white character, Jimmy Olsen, Iris West, Nick Fury, and you change them and you race change them, then they're like, that's fine. They're just characters. Even when they're just fictional characters, you can do anything you want with this fictional character. But when it goes the other way, the whitewashing, oh, that's the most worst thing in the entire world. I'm surprised people aren't being thrown in jail because they did this. Which brings me to my second article. It's in What Culture. Again, link in the description. They go on to say, they're talking about Iron Fist here. The article is called Whitewashed and Straightwashed Comic Book Characters. And they gave 7 examples, and one of them was Iron Fist. And they go on to say, you see, the character of Iron Fist was created at a time when comics were dominated by white male voices and, for the most part, white male readers. The thought of having an Asian American protagonist simply wasn't broached, and so the character of Danny Rand, a Caucasian millionaire and martial arts master, was created as an analog for the 70s newfound martial arts craze, a process that the character's co-creator stands by, wrongfully, to this day. Their words, not mine. Iron Fist came out in 1974. In 1973, Shang-Chi came out. Marvel's answer to Bruce Lee. An Asian American protagonist. Came out 1 year earlier than this horrible Danny Rand character. Horrible. How dare he? He knows karate. Anybody can know karate. Okay? You don't need to be Asian to know karate. You don't need to be Mexican to make tacos. You don't need to be Italian to make whatever Italians make, pasta. You don't need to be one race or one gender or one just to be able to do a thing. Anybody can do anything. Yet they want to get segregated. They want to segregate everything. Everyone's going crazy. There's a new Iron Fist. He's Asian in the comics. Oh, there was a huge explosion. Yay! Representation! He's finally Asian. Because he does karate, and only Asians can do karate. That's just... These people writing these articles are epically stupid. Because if they would have done just a tiny bit of research, just a smidge of research, they would have found out that Iron Fist came after Shang-Chi. They would have seen there was more white characters race swapped to black than black to white. Large amounts. But we don't want to talk about that. Again, the fact that these fans are out there really infuriates me. The fact that they're out there just trying to they've already worked their way into the comic book industry. The X-Men comics are run by social justice activists. You have writers at DC throwing all kinds of stupidity into their comic books. All in the name of inclusion. Now, I have no problem with people being in comic books. Black people, white people, Asian people, Mexican people. I don't care who's in a comic book, as long as the story's good. If you need to replace good story just so you can have a certain character in a book, that's wrong. And you've stepped over a line. If you can have a character, if you can look at a character, no matter what race or gender you are, and enjoy that character, that's what the writer's going for. That's what you're supposed to be doing. enjoying the character. Again, if you think you need to be a woman to enjoy Wonder Woman and you can't read Wonder Woman because you're a man, you're not a fan. You're an activist. No one here has ever come from a foreign alien planet. So, how can any of us ever, know what Superman's thinking or feeling or how he can, Yet we all read his comic book. We used to until they changed it up to his son, and well, if we would have had a little gatekeeping, that never would have happened. If we would have if somebody would have stood up and said, you know what, we do not need to make Superman's son gay. We don't need Superman's son. We have Superman. He's the one everyone's coming for. No one's coming for the derivative characters. I'm not coming for the whole Bat family. I'm here for Batman. So, no. Gatekeeping, that's a broad term. And if more people would just worry less about what they're seeing, worry less about am I being represented, and try to make a good story that helps people forget all the ugly that's going on outside of your four walls, and you can get away for half an hour or an hour by reading a comic book or watching a movie or seeing a TV show, and having that take you away on a fantastic adventure. That's all you need. And if you can't see yourself in that, you don't have the imagination, you don't have the imagination to help you through that, that's on you. That's my take on things. Again, probably not a whole lot of popular opinions in that, but honestly, I don't care. My Doctor Who's been ruined. My Star Wars has been ruined. My Star Trek has been ruined by activists using these as platforms to push agendas instead of just having good entertainment and stories. Thanks for watching. Now, if you liked this, and I've earned it, please give a like, subscribe, leave a comment if you think I am completely wrong, or if you agree with me. And if you want to see other ways people have been messing up comic books and things, check this video out and see how Marvel continues to just take characters and destroy them for representation and inclusion, because they have no imagination and they just want a quick money grab. All right. Thanks a lot, and I will catch you guys on the next video.